Previously, Garicero said that due to the timeline, it doesn't make sense how Kim Sae-ron would be able to get married, get pregnant, and get an abortion in 1 month. However, today, alleged Kim Sae-ron's husband and also a boyfriend spoke out. Recently, the late Kim Sae-ron's ex-boyfriend K held an exclusive interview with a media outlet and exposed Kim Soo-hyun, stating he had no part in her passing. He revealed that Kim Sae-ron would find comfort in him as her husband would physically and verbally abuse her. After finding out that they were still communicating with each other, her husband took her phone and monitored her actions. This situation ended up giving Kim Sae-ron severe stress, to the point where she attempted harming multiple times. K also revealed a series of messages between him and Kim Sae-ron and from her husband. K also denied claims that Kim Soo-hyun was at fault and focused the blame on her family. As someone who knew Sae-ron better than anyone else, it's absurd to me that her aunt suddenly appears, claims to be part of her bereaved family, and is now pushing the narrative that Kim Sae-ron passed away because of Kim Soo-hyun. If her biological parents aren't even the ones stepping forward, isn't it more likely they are the ones she wanted to escape from? Kim Sae-ron. Yeah, no, don't answer it. He's crazy. Kim Sae-ron. Block him on Instagram. You don't need to hear him out. Kim Sae-ron. It wasn't your fault. You don't deserve to be told things like that. K. This is so annoying. He's cursing me out. I can curse, too, you know. This is F up. K. I blocked him. Damn. Kim Sae-ron. I'm sorry. You can take it out on me instead. That B is crazy. He's mental. Kim Sae-ron. I keep getting cursed at and beaten, too, but nothing changes. K. Just report him. Man, I do not live him. That little F. Who does he think he is? Kim Sae-ron. I can't report him because he's American, apparently. Kim Sae-ron. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Have you had lunch yet? Don't skip your meals. He also shared a screenshot of an Instagram direct message from her husband, then boyfriend. This is Sae-ron's boyfriend. Stop getting in touch with her again and don't even think about seeing her again. This is my final warning. I know you met up with her on Christmas Eve and Christmas. I'm holding back, even though I want to unalive you, so I'm blocking you. Just please, F off, you useless piece of shit. Kim Sae-ron continued to message K, even confiding in him that he was the most precious person in the world to her, but she didn't want to hurt him. Kim Sae-ron. That's not it. That's not how I feel. I was a bad person to you, but I still want to tell you everything. K. Your boyfriend cursed me out. He DM'd me, threatening to kill me and calling me a piece of shit. Do you have any idea how that made me feel? Kim Sae-ron. I started seeing him in November. At first, I couldn't share it and you were constantly having a difficult time. I was struggling and couldn't rely on you. The truth is, I was lonely and I needed someone who would be there to listen to me and help me solve my problems. But that help was temporary. Later on, he began leaking my KakaoTalk messages and photos, hacked into my Instagram, hit me, and cursed at me. I was so scared. That's why I couldn't break up with him. I was always afraid that you would be hurt because of me, so I said we should break up. And all this happened. You were the most precious person to me and I didn't want him talking shit to you. I didn't want you to get hurt. But I haven't been able to push you away because I'm that greedy. And now we're here. I got us into this situation and left you in pain and with scars. But I was sincere every moment I was with you. My feelings for you were genuine and you were the most precious love to me. Cut off. Kay claimed that she struggled heavily due to her family's indifference to her personal situation. He revealed that on November 1st, 2024, she attempted harming and required emergency surgery. Despite her family being notified of this, none of them showed up to be there for her in her time of need, with only Kay staying by her side until she was discharged from the hospital. Her former agency covered the hospital fees. When I brought Sae-ron home after she was discharged, her mother and her mother's friend were casually having a meal at home. She didn't look surprised or show any signs of empathy. This kind of reaction from her family is why she always wanted to run away. Kay stated that Kim Sae-ron would continue to confide in him after her marriage, and opened up about her harming attempts to him. "I couldn't forgive myself, and there was no other way. I tried, but all that was left were scars. I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise to you, and I'm sorry that I'm not in more pain." Then he said, "How can a daughter get married without her family knowing? I can understand, though. The fact that none of them knew about her getting married to the New York man proves how little communication there was between them. They hardly cared when she was alive. But now that she's gone, they're digging up a relationship from years ago with a famous actor? There has to be an ulterior motive behind this. I've never met Kim Soo-hyun, but I can only imagine how wronged he must feel, getting so much backlash just because he's a popular celebrity." To conclude his interview with The Fact, Kay signed and stamped a statement with his Korean social security number as a show of credibility. He also shared a voice recording of Kim Sae-ron at the hospital, saying she needed surgery and the cost would be about $3,410. But the person she called was not her family, rather one of her acquaintances. However, Korean netizens were disgusted and felt that this was only being exposed for the money. Truly a sad Korean man cartel. Okay, Kim Soo-hyun, leave the industry. Who cares? What does this have to do with being a So gross. I wonder how much he was paid to do this. So disgusting. Crazy people. So scary how this is written just like the expected post. They knew they would bring in a third person to interview. Kwon Young-chon, the head of the Korea Celebrity Unaliving Prevention Association, who has been in contact with Kim Sae-ron's family, refuted Kay's claims strongly on their behalf. In an interview on March 25, 2025, he presented a hospital receipt and reiterated that her family had gone to the hospital over 18 times for Kim Sae-ron. She attempted unaliving about 20 times, and her parents took her to the hospital for 18 of them. They were there for her throughout. Kwon added that on the day Kay claimed her former agency paid for her emergency surgery, Kim Sae-ron did not contact her mother. Her manager accompanied her instead, likely because her mother, who worked nights as a substitute driver, was sleeping during the day. The agency CEO was reportedly furious at the manager for not informing the family, fearing something could have gone wrong. They only dated for a month. Would someone really confide such deeply personal issues to someone they were with for such a short time? He says it wasn't because of Kim Soo-hyun while simultaneously blaming her family. It doesn't add up. Kwon as well admitted that Kim Sae-ron had a complicated relationship with her mother. Her mother quit her job to act as her manager from her child acting days. She opposed both the move to the agency gold medalist and Kim's relationship with Kim Soo-hyun. That might have made it hard for Kim to open up when things went badly. Still, they had a love-hate relationship that spanned over 25 years. Kim Sae-ron faced an emergency surgery that her former agency reportedly paid about $3,410 for. According to critics, that amount is unusual for Korean citizens due to the hefty insurance that Koreans are entitled to. A total of about $3,680 was paid, but the receipts lack itemized charges. It looks suspiciously like a card king transaction, a shady practice of disguising credit card cash loans as product purchases. For patients with full insurance, sutures or emergency treatment for the wrist should cost between about $136 to about $273,000 at most. Even at a plastic surgery clinic, non-insurance procedures typically top out at about $682 to about $1,360. This amount just doesn't make sense. Kwon continued to claim that while the payments were made with the agency CEO's credit card, an investigation with the hospital found that a part of the about $3,410 was charged to Kim Sae-ron's mother's personal credit card. The hospital staff also allegedly voiced that the person who brought the cards in for payment came back to retrieve leftover funds. This implies that Kim Sae-ron's mother had footed a part of the bill, resulting in extra money which was collected as a refund by the agency's staff. The family has allegedly been trying to reach her former manager. This manager was the same whose voice was heard in the bombshell voice recordings of Kim Sae-ron about her marriage. We tried to ask where about $3,680 was really spent, but we can't reach him. He was extremely close to Kim Sae-ron, even helping her with all her meals. But every time she tried to make a comeback, personal details kept leaking. Then Lee Jin-ho would upload videos spreading unverified claims about her private life, fueling public negativity. It's hard not to suspect that B may have been the source of those leaks. Then Kim Sae-ron's husband has stepped up in a statement made on March 25, 2025. The statement was aired through Garo Siro Research Institute. Her husband has spoken out due to being unable to see the truth being allegedly distorted. Hello, this is the late Kim Sae-ron's husband. I wondered if it was right for me to step up because I am still in pain and unable to get out of my own feelings. I wondered if I would be causing damage to Sae-ron and her bereaved. Although I carefully considered it a few times, there have been so many distorted facts that are being spread, thanks to a couple of forces. I made the judgment that severe slander of the deceased was happening and have written this statement in order to set the facts straight. He claimed to have met and fallen in love with her quickly. They were planning on voiding the marriage almost as quickly as it had started. I was just living life as I did, an ordinary person, when I met Kim Sae-ron around mid to late November 2024, thanks to an introduction from an acquaintance. Thanks to having strong attraction to each other despite the short time, we got married legally in America, where I live, on January 12, 2025, with only witnesses present. Later, we decided to void the marriage upon agreement from both parties, due to the fact that we got married too quickly without serious consideration out of having fallen in love, as well as due to practical problems of a long-distance relationship, and differences in personalities. He firmly denied previous claims that she had been pregnant with his child. As such, he also denied allegations of blackmailing her into marriage. It is completely not true that she was pregnant. Rumors of her pregnancy came around January 2025, but we first met in mid to late November 2024. That was when we first met, and we started getting serious around the end of November when she visited America. The timelines do not match up. Also, we were not thinking about children, so Kim Sae-ron was taking birth control pills. It is a severe form of humiliation of the late Kim Sae-ron to claim that she was threatened into marriage due to pregnancy, etc. Who gets married due to threats? We both loved each other, and Kim Sae-ron also passionately agreed to the marriage, showing that she wanted to proceed with it. I can provide evidence for this. As such, it is completely far from the truth about how I made her stay in the marriage through violence. We were doing research in preparation to void the marriage mutually. Our relationship can be told from the last handwritten card Kim Sae-ron gave me. We both decided that it would be better to quietly void the marriage without letting people know that we had been wed for a short time overseas. But false information about our personal lives and marriage, and unconfirmed claims from her ex-boyfriend, were spread through recordings by YouTuber Lee Jin-ho, director Kwak Tae-young, and her previous manager. When the video was posted, netizens were even angrier at both Kim Soo-hyun and Lee Jae-ho, explaining how all of this news shouldn't distract from the allegations he dated her as a minor. There was also a lot of criticism towards Lee Jin-ho, with some saying he unalived her, along with praising the Garicero Research Institute for continuously shining a light on the topic. The issue is whether Kim Soo-hyun dated Kim Sae-ron when she was a minor or not. Whether you believe the about $477,000 rumor or not, those are the only two key points. Any other news about men and marriage is irrelevant. Just because Kim Sae-ron passed away doesn't mean Kim Soo-hyun's alleged violation of child and youth protection laws should be swept under the rug. Please investigate until the end. Kim Sae-ron wanted to escape Korea, even if it meant through marriage. This is heartbreaking. Lee Jin-ho is once again stirring things up about Kim Sae-ron and her mother. She had a bad relationship with her mother, but she didn't pass away because of her. She took her own life because of you, so why do you keep saying otherwise? The husband also revealed a photo of their marriage certificate as proof. He also denied assaulting her. 1. Regarding assault. The house I am currently residing in America, is a quiet apartment complex with very weak soundproofing. It is built such that if assault had taken place, the floor below would immediately make a report. In addition, assault in America results in strong legal responsibility. I am someone who has received a thorough upbringing in America. After I met Kim Sae-ron for the first time, from November 2024 to February 2025, we have met up a total of 4 times. Apart from the first time I met her in November 2024, as I have to go to work, the last 3 times were when she came to visit me in America every month. If I did really lock her up and assault her, why would Kim Sae-ron voluntarily come to America each time? For myself, I also felt sorry that she had to sit through a long flight and go through the strict immigrations procedure at the airport. So I did my best financially and emotionally for her, so that she would be content whenever she visited America. They said they had photos of the physical abuse, and I urged them to publicize the photos if they have them. If necessary, I will undergo police investigations. Kim Sae-ron's husband admitted that they openly shared information such as their social media accounts with each other. He claimed that these were mutually agreed upon due to their long-distance relationship. 2. Regarding my monitoring of her. As we were in a long-distance relationship, we did not restrict access to each other's cell phones and social media accounts in terms of passwords. In actuality, Kim Sae-ron used my phone to contact people many times, and we freely shared our passwords with each other, and more, in order to build trust as a married couple. I can tell you that in actuality, we exchanged our passwords, etc., through DMs, as well as wrote promises to each other as a couple, and were also open with other information as agreed between us mutually. Whenever she was in America, she was always with me, and we shared everything with each other, without secrets. I am in suspicion how they portrayed this as me monitoring her moves, but I think that this is a mutually agreeable choice you can make as a couple. I can prove this with a written agreement we made as a couple. Last but not least, he had faced threats recently by an anonymous source who claimed to be Kim Sae-ron's cousin. Lastly, on March 18, 2025, someone contacted me anonymously, claiming to be Kim Sae-ron's acquaintance. I will show you the message I received from them. I continued to talk to them, as I believed them to be someone I knew, but they lied and said that they were her older male cousin, and tried to provoke me multiple times, asking me about falsehoods such as why I assaulted her, blackmailed her, etc. When I said that I would be taking legal actions, they immediately stopped contacting me. If needed, I will request for a fair and just police inspection. Please immediately cease the spread of falsehoods about a deceased person's personal life. What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching and see you next time.